Welcome back to Turning Point Tonight, where we are charting the course of America's cultural comeback. My name is Joe Bob, and remember, you can email the show anytime you want, tpt@tpusa.com. You can email whether you agree with the show or you're wrong. No matter what your email is, we might go through it, and we might even read it on the show in the fourth segment of this hour. But now it's time to turn to our White House correspondent, Monica Page, from the White House, talking about, obviously, the American people know that with a businessman in the White House, that's going to be terrible for businesses around the United States. Is that accurate, or is there a different message coming out of the White House? And what are they saying about American companies investing in the American people?
Yeah, terrible for these businesses and terrible for the everyday American people. Big day today here coming out of the White House. We're just now hearing from the president and really Hyundai in general, and also the governor of Louisiana here at the White House talking about how Hyundai is now going to be establishing new manufacturing plant in Louisiana and also in Georgia. Now, this is huge considering that. I mean, there are plenty of other car companies that are kind of grabbing on to this Made in America tour. Like, you have Honda and you also have Toyota, Rolls-Royce in general too, also kind of grabbing onto this Made in America tour and bringing back jobs, bringing back new steel plants as well to the American people and to our country. You've also had the health sector as well to even expand on this. You've got Johnson and Johnson, Merck, Eli Lilly, all investing in the United States, building new plants, investing tons in research and development, and also establishing new jobs. Now, this new Hyundai plant in Louisiana is expected to grow about 1,300 new jobs, which is huge for the American people. We know that, this administration has been so, amplified on bringing back American homegrown jobs, homegrown energy and production. So we don't have to rely on these other countries to get our energy, to get resources, to get employees in general as well. So it's actually a very big deal, more than people realize, especially with President Trump, pushing these tariffs on different countries as well. It's the smartest move at the end of the day because our reliance on energy should be from our own country. So it's a very big day for Hyundai. It's a very big day for American people, and those who want to invest in this country. And you also don't have just the American businesses. You have other foreign countries as well. You have the Taiwan chip manufacturer as well. They really sent over billions of dollars here to increase production and increase research. You also have other companies coming into this country, the United Arab Emirates as well, donating trillions of dollars to for more funding here in America. So it's going global, these investments. And this is going to be something that it's been done in 2.5 months. Just wait to see what happens over the next 4 years.
Wow, Monica, that actually sounds like that's going to be great for the American people, huh? That's not what I was
Yeah.
reading when I was reading headlines about this article. Now, okay, so in an attempt to maybe even reach across the aisle a little bit, you've got manufacturing jobs coming back to the United States, which means American jobs, which means tax revenue, which I think is the thing that
Mhm.
libs love. Are you seeing any of the lib news outlets or anybody around the White House cheering this on from the lefty side of the aisle, considering the fact they get to do their favorite thing, which is tax American work?
No, I mean, it's funny that you mentioned that because when you hear some of the latest news coming out of the White House from these outlets, it's oftentimes, oh no, these foreign nations, I don't know how they're going to be able to deal with all these tariffs that President Trump is placing on them. And, when if you're an everyday American person, you're looking at that and you're saying, so what? Why should we care about Canada or Mexico or China place those tariffs on them? Because what they've been doing to us over the last 4 years, it's the golden rule of this is treat these countries the way they've been treating us. So now it's about time that we start, getting these investments in the United States, having these homegrown jobs, in manufacturing plants, energy, and thus driving down these costs because, the cost of energy really skyrocketed over the last 4 years because we were relying on other countries for it. And, that also goes for other goods and services as well. So now that we're doing things domestically, this will drive down the prices for the everyday American people, and so they don't have to live paycheck to paycheck that they were under the Biden administration. But definitely pay attention to how these, mainstream media and lib outlets are going to spin this in a
Mhm.
way where President Trump is really, oh, he's really causing a lot of pain for other people. That's not what's really happening. President Trump is very deliberate and he knows what he's doing, especially when it comes to making deals, and especially when it comes to energy as well.
Yeah, sounds like, again, another win for the American people, including the libs, even though they may not count it as a win. Monica Page, White House
Yeah.
correspondent for Turning Point, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks so much.
That is Monica Page, our Turning Point White House correspondent. Let's bring our panelist back in. One panelist, Brandon Tatum, the man, the myth, the legend. Brandon, I can see into your mind, and I know what you're thinking. I just wish there was a Don Lemon, Joy Reid tag team duo of a podcast. That's all I need in my life. Now I know you wanted it, and I wanted it, of course. I'm not sure if the American people wanted it, but we wanted it maybe for just to make fun of it and mock it. I want to play you this clip from, again, the podcast that I don't think anybody actually in real life wanted. Here's Joy Reid talking to Don Lemon, and there's a lot actually in here to discuss that I think is funny. So play this clip and we'll react on the other side.
Grampy Trump, let's talk. Let's talk. First of all, you can't make Canada the 51st state without going to war with them. And let me explain how that happened, how that worked out the last time we tried to go to war with Canada. They burned the White House to the ground in 1814 and won the war. Canada beat us in the War of 1812. They probably liked their chances against us. We're not going to beat them in a war because we have never been able to do that. You'd have to occupy a country that is equivalent of the size of the United States, in which the top 2/3 of it is uninhabited, frozen forest land that touches the Arctic. You know how that worked out when the Nazis tried that with Russia, which is the equivalent of Canada on that part of the world? We gonna lose.
All right. Well, aside from the fact of nobody wanting to hear those two people talk, what she said, I thought, was hilarious. I'm going to give you some stats really quick, and I'll get your comments. By the way, I do not want to go to war with Canada. I don't think anyone actually does. But if we're playing the premise out as Joy Reid stated it, currently the United States has 2.1 million total U.S. personnel, including active duty and reservists. Canada's total personnel military-wise is 100,000. So we have 2 million more U.S. personnel in the military. We spend 32 times more than Canada does on defense. And as far as specifics go, tanks, we outnumber them 5,500 to 74, fighter jets, 1,900 to 83, and the list goes on and on and on. Brandon, a lot of stuff. One, how do you feel about Don Lemon and Joy Reid teaming up? Two, what the heck is she saying, man?
Well, first of all, I think I lost some brain cells listening to these two idiots, especially that milk dud. I don't know what she was doing to her hair. Maybe all her hair fell out because she's so silly. But I don't know what planet she's living on. But last time I checked, Canadians don't have any guns. So we don't even need our military. Just a few patriots can go over there and sweep the whole country, if you want to be honest. And then not only are we better than them, we're stronger than them. Our regular citizens have more firepower than they do. We also have the baddest military ever known to mankind. I mean, you talk about the Marine Corps alone. I mean, we got branches of military that can enact whatever conflict we want to on anybody that we want to. So I don't know what she's smoking. I don't know what planet she's living on. I don't know what rock she just came out up from under. But she is completely losing her mind. And it's shameful that a person like this views our country so poorly. I mean, Canada is the size of maybe one of our states, maybe California. There's 50 states. It's the size of one of them. And to think that America doesn't have the fortitude to take them out in an instance is absolutely asinine to me. The only reason we haven't, because I don't think it's politically reasonable for us to add more senators and House of Representatives who are going to be all leftist nut jobs. So we wouldn't need to incorporate them anyway because it'll make our country worse. However, when you put two mindless people that have, extreme amounts of Trump derangement syndrome, this is what you get.
Yeah, I I like your point there. Yeah, we don't even need to send the military. We'll just send all of the dudes from Florida or the South just to go up there and just make it happen. Again, this is not we're not a proponent of war with Canada. Just saying, if you're going to put it in that context, we got to set the record straight. I want to get your thoughts on this briefly before we have to wrap up. DoorDash, right? We've all used DoorDash. We've all used Uber Eats, whatever, your food delivery service of choice. DoorDash is now offering effectively the ability for users to take out a loan in order to buy a burrito. They've teamed up with Klarna, who will charge DoorDash users no interest. They will charge late fees before, I think, 30 days. Kind of the specifics are a little bit up in the air. Just 30,000 foot view, Brandon, what does this say about the American people and their relationship with their own finances that some people think it's a good business idea to get DoorDash effectively on layaway?
Well, this is the epitome of the rich keep getting richer. Okay. So the people who are rich and wealthy, they understand that if you give a person the idea that they can pay over time, many people are going to miss their payment. So therefore, you're going to make more money on fees. But also people that can't afford it, if they can prolong the payment, they do it in the cell phone companies already, where they can prolong your payment with no interest. The thing is that majority of people are going to miss a payment. They're going to get a ton of fees. And then people are going to begin to buy things that they can't afford because they can prolong the payment over time. So the rich people and the marketing people of DoorDash are absolutely genius. They're going to have an increase in sales. However, the people who can't afford to pay it up front can't afford it anyway. And to be honest, you can just get up and go to the grocery store instead of prolonging a payment with a fee on it. Because last time I checked, and we overuse DoorDash in my family for sure, but last time I checked, there's fees and carrier fees, and they'll try to kill you if you don't give them a tip. And so why would you think it makes sense as a regular person to say, I can't afford to get anything delivered, but yet I'm going to do it anyway over a short amount of payments? I think it's the epitome of how people are not good with money, or they're not smart with their money. And the country, for the middle class people, are going to go into a tremendous amount of debt and end up paying so many more fees than they should have. And that's just that's what capitalism is. The thing is that you got to be smarter than that, and you'll be the one making money versus the one losing money.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of people, especially on the internet, that are like, "Oh, we shouldn't allow this." And I think I'm not sure if you'd agree, but let me know if you don't. But it should be legal to do, and I hope just people don't do it. Right? You don't need to necessarily outlaw something for people to not participate in it. Right? Is that fair?
No, this is capitalism. Okay. If you are too lazy, or you want to buy back your time, whichever one it is, and you decide to use a service where you don't have to go to the store to do it, that's what we do with our family. I don't have time to waste in the grocery store anymore. Time is money for me. So I would love to give somebody an opportunity, a job, to go and pick groceries and give them a tip on the back end. However, you got to think of it both ways. We're not making you do it. If you don't have the money, you should be reasonable as an adult to say, I'm just going to drive to the grocery store, pick my own groceries. But the thing is, you shouldn't ban stupidity. I mean, if you want to be dumb enough to buy a Louis Vuitton bag and you can't afford it, that's on you. You have to be smart enough. And you know what? It helps people because they have to learn a lesson. Be better with your finances, or you're going to go into debt. Okay. So we shouldn't try to handicap people. The Lord has given us free will. So we need to give people free will in capitalism and let them make their own mistakes.
Yeah, I agree. I wish you could ban stupidity, but you're right. You just can't. Brandon Tatum, hey, thanks so much for taking the time and joining us. Appreciate it. Love to have you back sometime.
Yeah. God bless you guys. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Coming up on Turning Point tonight, we have a clip from Alex Clark's Culture Apothecary podcast. Don't go away. We'll be right back after this.